Welcome to the Time Management Podcast with me, your host, Abigail Barnes. I'm a productivity coach, global speaker, time management author, and award-winning entrepreneur on a mission to share the 888 formula with the world and to remind you that it's your time. Leave it to me to bring you new time management tips, tricks, tools, and strategies, to introduce you to guests, research, and case studies from around the world, and to give you a simple 5-step process you can follow to uplevel your productivity, achieve your goals, and create a life that exceeds your wildest dreams. I'm so excited that you're here, so let's get started. Welcome to the show and a very happy new year to you. I am recording this episode for you on the 1st of January 2025 so that we can infuse this conversation today with all the new energy that it needs. Because this week we're talking about how to quit procrastinating in 2025. What if 2025 is the year that you quit procrastinating, the year you stop making excuses, the year you stop sabotaging your relationships, your opportunities, and your life? What if 2025 is the year you finally realize that what's possible for others is possible for you too? What if it's the year you realize the success that you have been chasing is right in front of you? The opportunities you've been praying for are finally going to manifest. And what if 2025 is the year that things get to be easier? What if it's the year where the struggle is no longer needed? And what if it really is your time? This week on the Time Management Podcast, as we start the new year with Pluto in Aquarius and a numerological year 9, I'll be inviting you to suspend your disbelief, to dare to dream and to step into your new timeline. Because what's possible for you is just one decision away, one action step away from everything that you have been manifesting. It really is your time, my friend. It's my time. It's our time. This episode is for you if you're ready for a new chapter in your life. If you're ready to break up with procrastination once and for all. And it's definitely for you if you're ready to suspend your disbelief and step into the new reality you want to be living. This conversation is building upon 2 previous episodes that we have in the vault around procrastination. I'm going to guide you back to episode number 2, the procrastination perfection loop, where I told you that I had been procrastinating over starting the podcast, as well as episode 37, where we were talking about, is procrastination actually a trauma response? In this episode, we are going to talk about how you are always manifesting and what that means in relation to procrastination, because we get what we believe. So why are we not asking for different things? Why do we not believe that we can have what it is that we want? We've talked about this in many different episodes during our time on the podcast. So I'll guide you back to episode 33, Are Your Thoughts Sabotaging Your Time Management? And encourage you to audit your thoughts with that free homework for 24 hours. I call that the 24-hour thought tracking experiment. If 2025 is going to be different, it is time that we wipe that slate clean and we reset that productivity story. That's what we were talking about in episode 29 of the podcast. Because like energy attracts like energy. This is Law of Attraction 101. Can you start to spot where you have been getting the things you don't want? So as I said, we are manifesting all the time, and we are very, very good at it. Most of us, when we look around our life, don't realize that the things that we have that we don't want, we have because we have been focusing on them. So when we focus on something else, that is what we are then able to attract. The reason that I am recording this podcast right here, right now, the day before it is due to go out, isn't because I've been procrastinating. It is because I've started to recognize that everything is energy, and the energy in which we do things in is the energy in which we are able to receive things from. This podcast today is going to be infused with the energy of a new beginning, of a new start. Whether this day is the day that you believe we start over is by the by. It's the day that collectively people around the world do. And there is potent, powerful energy around that. Because when you argue for your limitations, that's what you'll get more of. That was what Richard Bach talked about in his book. I want you to suspend your disbelief as much as you can. I know it's simple, but it's not easy. It's not easy to focus on things being good when things aren't good. But if we keep focusing on the reality that we currently have, we can't move to the next step, which is why I said at the beginning, if it's possible for somebody else, it's possible for you. So perhaps switch your focus on to what other people around you have that you would like to have, and use that as a strategy to allow yourself to believe in possibility. Because in episode 41 of the podcast, we were talking about the growth mindset versus the fixed mindset, and what impact this can have on your productivity. So a fixed mindset is very much that, yeah, I know that. Yeah, I've done that. Yeah, I've tried that. Didn't work. That mindset of, I don't believe it. Unless there's science, unless you can prove it to me, unless there's a spreadsheet attached to the back of it, I'm not going there. The growth mindset is the mindset that says, I wonder, I dare to dream. I would like to see what could happen if I changed the way I was thinking about things. Because in episode 15 of the podcast, we looked at where is all your time going. One of the big things that comes up in conversations that I have with clients and potential clients is, yeah, I know that. Yeah, I read that. Yeah, I did that. That's all great. However, if you are not fully aware of your habits and your actions, that's where your time is going. So you can be the most knowledgeable person in the room, but if you are not doing something with that knowledge, that old adage, knowledge is power. It's not. It's potential. Yes, it's important that we have that knowledge because we are one step further ahead on the path than people without it. But if we do nothing with it, we may as well not even know it. And in episode 31, Caroline Milne, who bought a copy of my book and did the 7-day time audit, found an extra hour and 15 minutes a day. And in that episode, she tells us that she thought she was very good at time management. Just goes to show it doesn't matter where you're at, what you know, what you're doing. It matters what habits and actions you are actually unaware of. And the funny thing about that is that the minute you spot it, things can change. While it is subconscious and you are unaware of it, it's ruling your life day in, day out, because you can't change what you don't track. Did you close the book on 2024? Did you listen to episode 64 of the podcast and reset your success story? Did you take some time out to answer the 6 questions that were in that episode? 5 of them were for your own reflection, because question 6 was, what goals do you have for 2025? And you can still download that free 2024 review if you would like to make sure that you close the book properly as we are entering the new year. Because did you know that people with written goals are scientifically proven by 42% to be more likely to achieve those goals? And in 2025, we are going to be focusing on resetting your success story. Reset is our 5-step method. It's an acronym which stands for review, evaluate, strategize, execute, and track. And this is what we will be teaching in our group training that we will be launching in the next few weeks. This program is going to be focusing on where manifestation meets goal setting strategy. It will be a combination of workshops, self-study, and group accountability. And I'm so excited to bring this to you because, as I was saying, knowledge alone doesn't change your life, doesn't change your results, doesn't change your reality, doesn't bring you more success. You have to do something with that knowledge. Applied knowledge is what will change your life. If you missed out on Magic Time last year, we ran it with cohort 1. We will be opening that program again in 2025. This is a combination of quantum physics meets productivity, and it will be available on demand. So look out for that. In episode 24 of the podcast, we had on a human design expert, and we were talking all about how human design can save you time. That was part 1. And then episode 65, we brought that expert back to talk about how we could use human design to create success in 2025. That was part 2. Today, I want us to consider that could our human design type be influencing our proclivity to procrastinate? It really depends on which centers are open and which centers are closed, which are defined and undefined. If, for example, you have a sacral that is open, this is associated with energy. It creates what we need to achieve and to live our daily lives, such as our work, our creativity, and our relationships. If your sacral center is open, aka it's undefined, and this is usually somebody who is a projector, a manifestor, or a reflector, then this is going to temporarily amplify the energy that you are around, which means that it can be likely you'll be tapping into other people's energy and you will be overexerting yourself without actually realizing your energy limits, aka knowing when enough is enough. So people with the undefined sacral can find that they might be highly sensitive to the energy fields of the people around them because they lack consistent access to that life force energy. And generators, manifesting generators, they are more likely to have that sacral defined. So if you are a projector, a manifestor, or a reflector, you will be tapping into the energy of generators, manifesting generators, who are 70% of the population. If your root center is undefined, aka that's open, this is associated with the energy to start and complete tasks, providing the drive to access and the pressure to achieve. So the root center is generally associated with productivity. Now, as a generator, I have a defined root, and it's not so black and white. It's approximately 60% of the population have it defined, 40% have it undefined. So it is type agnostic. You can be any of the 5 different types, but this undefined root may make you feel like pressure and the environment is amplified. So you are perhaps living in a constant state of urgency and stress. It's important that you understand, is that pressure yours or is that pressure coming from other people? And it can be difficult sometimes to avoid that if you're in an office setting or if you're working on a project with people who have that defined root, so who are tapped into that life force energy. So I just go. When I am on something, I am just on it. When I'm not on it, I'm not on it. And this is where I think that human design is so interesting from a productivity point of view, and specifically today from a procrastination point of view. Your design is unique to you. Everybody has a different design because it is dependent on the time you're born, the place you're born, and the date you're born. And that gives each of us a different blueprint, a different way of living our lives. Even if you have an undefined root and an undefined sacral, it just means that those are your lessons to learn in life. And even though I have a defined root, I still sometimes need to work around others to stay productive. It's very much about understanding yourself and inviting exploration. This is the reason why I love human design so much. I use it to clarify my intuition, and then I use it to guide my actions by living from my strategy and my authority. We've talked about that in the past, and I would definitely guide you back to those 2 episodes, part 1 and part 2, with Lauren, our human design expert. And the homework for this episode, number 1, do the free 2024 review and make sure you are clear on what your goals are for 2025. That will become apparent when we start talking about part 2 of resetting your success story in 2025. Homework number 2, audit your time. This data will change your life. This data will give you clarity. It will give you information. It will give you empowerment to make change. And then number 3, subscribe for the podcast update emails. All the links to all of this, as always, are in the show notes. And if you would like me to be your coach this year, helping you as you work towards your goals, whether that be for your business or your career, or perhaps 2025 is the year that you start a side hustle or write a book or start that podcast, then I would love to work with you. All the links are in the show notes. Reach out and let's hop on a call and have a conversation. And until next time, my friend, stay safe, stay well, and remember, it's your time. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. If you loved what you heard, be sure to let me know by leaving a review so I can keep the good stuff coming. Come and say hi on Instagram at Success by Design Training, or visit my website, successbydesigntraining.com, or connect with me on LinkedIn. Just search Abigail Barnes. Until next time, don't forget, you are amazing and it's your time.